Welcome back to the LFC Transfer Hub, your number one source for everything breaking at Anfield. Andy Robertson inspires FA Cup win as Reds avenge recent Molineux defeat. Second news is Virgil van Dijk. It was a great win. We had to make something right here. Let's start. Liverpool bounced back from their recent defeat to Wolves with a 3-1 win at Molineux to progress to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. Arne Slot's side had been beaten in stoppage time in the Premier League fixture between the teams on Tuesday, but early second-half goals from Andy Robertson and Mohamed Salah put them in control before Curtis Jones scored a sumptuous third. Hee-chan Hwang grabbed a late consolation, but Liverpool were rewarded for their strong team selection, having made fewer changes than Rob Edwards did to the Wolves lineup. The commanding victory secures their spot in Monday's draw for the last 8. Although Cody Gakpo headed against the bar from an offside position early on, the early pattern of the game was remarkably similar to the previous meeting between the teams. Liverpool were on top, having all 11 shots in the first half, but created little of note. It opened up quickly after the interval thanks to Robertson's rocket of a shot from the edge of the penalty box, and the Scottish left-back produced the moment of quality that unlocked Wolves again just moments later when his cross found Salah at the back post. The assistant referee initially ruled the goal offside, but VAR corrected the call. On a night when teenager Rio Nguyen received an opportunity from the start, it was two veterans in red who made the difference for the visitors. Jones then put the seal on it. For Wolves, there will be no cup joy. It is back to the toil of the Premier League for the bottom club. For Liverpool, the win serves as a confidence boost ahead of a Champions League tie away to Galatasaray on Tuesday. It is 7 wins in 9 now for the Reds. Robertson, it was up to us to put it right. Man of the match Andy Robertson, speaking to BBC Sport. I couldn't have hit it much better, no. It's quite rare, but it opened up and thankfully I hit it clean. Most of them usually go over the bar. I'm glad I managed to get one in the net. That was a bit more like it. We know we let ourselves down on Tuesday. It was not the performance we expect of ourselves. It's very rare you get to play the same team 3 days later, so it was up to us to go and put it right. The FA Cup is do or die. You're in or you're out, and thankfully we're in the quarter-finals. Slot, Robertson loves the club. Liverpool boss Arne Slot speaking in the press conference. If you talk about a goal and an assist, the first player you think about is probably not a full-back. He loves the club and he loves to play in front of these fans. Robbo has in the 1.5 years I am here given everything for the club, and the fans will say he did it in all the years he was here. He tries to give his best, defending well, calm, with a lot of composure on the ball. Slot welcomed Florian Wirtz back as a substitute, and the Liverpool squad is looking stronger again. I am really happy a lot of players have come back. If you have to play with 12, 13, 14 every 3 days, it does make sense that once in a while a performance is not what you expect. That is why I respect them so much, that the same players have to play. Now I can affect the game more from the bench. On the overall performance, Slot saw a lot of similarities with the defeat of 3 days earlier. Asked if it was the perfect response, he replied, "Of course it is the perfect response when you look at the result, but every stat is exactly the same as 3 days ago. Today they only had 1 chance and scored 1. 3 days ago they only had 1 chance and scored twice. Again, we conceded in extra time, so that is similar, so it was not so much different. In the first 50 minutes, we were maybe a bit faster, going from side to side. That had maybe to do with the personnel, but there were a lot of similarities, a lot of possession." Edwards, Liverpool better tonight. Wolves boss, Rob Edwards, speaking in the press conference. Not a tough one to take, just that the better team won. They were really good tonight, and it was hard for us. No qualms or excuses, their level was excellent. At halftime I was relatively happy. We were limiting them to long-range shots, but not too many efforts. The most frustrating thing for me was the timing of the second goal. That was the killer. We needed to remain in it longer, and that second one was really frustrating. That is the thing I am most disappointed in. A doubleheader against Liverpool is hard. For us to win one of those, we have to take that as a big positive. We tried tonight, but their level went up, and they made it very difficult. Asked if there were similarities to the previous game, Edwards added, "I thought they were better, their counter-pressing was better, their intensity was better, they won the ball back better. Their intensity tonight was better, it was really hard for us to get through them." With Wolves' cup run over, Edwards must turn his attention back to a Premier League season that seems almost certain to end in relegation. We have got 8 games. The next game against Brentford has to be our cup final. Second news is Virgil van Dijk. It was a great win, we had to make something right here. Virgil van Dijk was pleased to see a proper response from Liverpool away at Wolverhampton Wanderers on Friday night. Fewer than 72 hours after suffering a defeat at Molineux in the Premier League, the Reds returned there to win 3-1 and progress in the Emirates FA Cup. Goals in the second half from Andy Robertson, Mohamed Salah and Curtis Jones secured a spot in the quarter-finals. Speaking to TNT Sports post-match, Van Dijk said, "I think it was a very disappointing night on Tuesday, especially a very disappointing last 20 minutes of the game, and we had to make something right here. Obviously, the FA Cup is very important for us, like always, but especially this season, and hopefully we can keep going. Great win." On the difference in the performance on Friday night, the captain continued, "It's easy to say it now because you win, but I think the pace, and we kept playing. I think there was a lot of 1v1 moments on the side. Rio Ngumoha was outstanding, made life difficult for their right wing-back, right centre-back as well at times. We kept pushing. We found the first goal, and that changed the rest of the game as well. It opened up a little bit more. Then scoring the second and third, it was game over." Ngumoha was handed the 5th start of his professional career and impressed during a 69-minute outing in the West Midlands. "Obviously, we all see day in, day out how special a talent he is in terms of 1v1s and the pace he drives at players," Van Dijk said of the 17-year-old. "He's working hard, he's a good boy, and we are looking after him. We speak to him constantly, and he needs to keep learning, keep soaking it all up, and take it into his progress. Friday was a good day for him, nothing more, nothing less. He has to keep going." Liverpool will discover their opponents in the last 8 of the FA Cup on Monday evening, but their focus will be on another competition by then. Van Dijk and his teammates are heading to Galatasaray for the first leg of a Champions League round of 16 tie. The no-4 finished. To get silverware is always our aim. I've been very privileged to experience so many good nights and winning silverware with this beautiful club, and that's what we aim for. But this season, obviously, has been very difficult for a lot of reasons, and I said it from day one that it was going to be a very difficult season. But we're here now, we've made progress, but obviously now and then we are also not doing well, and that's what we have to take in our process. That's what we did at Wolves. We played well, we won, and it is on to the next game. Now it's Champions League, where we will focus on a very difficult game, where our ears will be tested as well again. But it's nice. It's an absolute blessing to be out there again, and hopefully we can get a good result there.